Alright, twins, twinettes, twins, and the look. So we got this YBC, the beef that ended YBC DUL. So I just wanna I don't really know how good this nigga videos is. I never watched one of his videos, but I do just wanna get a little, you know what I'm saying, a little insight on what's going on, you know? So I'm gonna watch this one. I'm gonna do the other one too, the YBC DUL full story. I'm gonna do that one too. But that one is way longer. That one is an hour. So I see it right there. That one is an hour. So I'm gonna still do that one though. But look, appreciate all my twins, man. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit, man. And this video is 16 minutes. So let's go ahead and just, you know, get into it, bro. I don't really want to hear him yap too much.
Less than 24 hours ago, dropped a full-length hood vlog featuring YBC DUL in his neighborhood that many believe his
full screen
location. While this is a distinct possibility, there's no doubt in my mind that even if he wasn't featured in this video, DUL was essentially playing Russian roulette, even being in the city of Philadelphia in the first place.
And I'm still grinding my player.
The most disrespectful rapper of this century. From casually name dropping.
I can't see my I don't really see my OBS. I don't know where my face is at on my OBS. So hopefully it's in February. It's a decent angle.
YBC DUL will forever be remembered as probably having the biggest target on his back. His clique that spans from the 44th Street to 39th area and Mantua of West Philadelphia is completely surrounded by a super group of ops hell-bent on YBC's destruction. And in taking out DUL, it looks like they're taking out the top op in the city with not much left, with the rest of them either dead or facing centuries in prison. Man, today we gotta talk about the beef that got the infamous rapper YBC.
Nigga ain't even say years. Nigga ain't even say, like, that nigga said they're facing centuries, bro. I never heard nobody put it like that, bro. I swear to God, bro. When you say it like that, bro, that shit sound even more crazy. That nigga said they're facing centuries. that shit just made it sound even more crazy.
See DUL smoke and the ongoing situation in one of the most violent cities in America right now. Before we get into this, I'm gonna need you to like, comment, subscribe. You already know we're on the road to 100K subs, so I'm gonna need you to tap in. Check out the merch in the description. The city is really like people don't understand the sheer number of people who become victims of gun violence in this town. The year 2021 was literally the most dangerous year on record for a city that's over 341 years old. With over 550 homicides that year, Philly had a higher murder rate than Chicago, yet it only has half of the population. The crazy thing about the murder rate that year is an infamous group from the west side of Philadelphia known as YBC, or Young Bag Chasers, were literally known for raising the murder rate in the city in 4K. The DA of Philly, Larry Krasner, has even went out of his way to call them and all groups associated or known for beefing with YBC by name, for being some of the most real demons that you can imagine. With YBC DUL being one of the most vocal and disrespectful members, bro was basically the spokesperson for an ongoing war.
Nigga say he's basically the spokesperson.
All this is what led to his downfall. In order to understand how things even got to this point though, you gotta rewind all the way from the jump. Before the internet fame, before the grave digging, before the casual shootouts. Back to the time all this started, just to understand how things even got to this point. The name YBC first started floating around from a group based out of the 42nd, 43rd, and Mantua area of West Philadelphia, known for chasing a bag and getting the money. Originally coined by the rapper J100, the group started making a name for itself as a collective in the streets, dropping music and getting bread. However, one incident in 2019 would forever change the trajectory of the group and turn them from money getters to all-out demons. These bulls were crazy.
A teenager was gunned down on a sidewalk in Philadelphia's Parkside section. Now law enforcement hopes a big reward will urge someone to come forward to solve this case. Here's Rick Williams with tonight's Crime Fighters report.
On Wednesday, May 29th, 2019, Joshua David Munson was along the 4200 block of Wyalusing Avenue in Philadelphia's Parkside section. At 1:40 p.m., police were called to the area for a person with a gun.
On May 29th, 2019, Joshua David Munson was walking along the 42nd 100 block of West Wyalusing Avenue in Philadelphia's Parkside section. It was seemingly a normal day in the hood, but then all of a sudden, shots rang out. Police initially arrived in the area after neighbors reported someone walking around with a gun. At the time of the shooting, police say a black male between 24 and 25 years old, wearing blue shorts, a white tank top, parked at a gold Dodge Ram pickup on the corner corner of 42nd and Mantua Ave, just around the corner from Munson. Police say the man exited the truck and jogged to Wasserling Avenue. He then ran back to the truck immediately following the shooting and drove westbound on Mantua. Josh would be in the hospital in critical condition, but unfortunately died from his injuries in the hospital after 2 days. This incident had a profound effect on YBC. They would name their hood in honor of Josh, calling it Josh World, and many in the group would go on to look for revenge. It turns out they didn't have to look too far, because the people they would go to war with for this incident were literally damn near on the same block, just a couple streets over, which we're gonna get into right now in chapter 2, YBC versus 39th Street. YBC got so many beefs with their surrounding neighborhoods and hoods in the west side that it only makes sense to explain everything that led up to.
I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of how it is though. Like, that might sound crazy, but that's really how it is. Like, niggas really be having beef with hoods, like, that's literally 2 blocks away, bro. Like, 3 blocks away, bro. Like, you walk 2 blocks and make a left, nigga, that ops is right there. Like, so it's like, I get it, because that's kind of how New York is. That's kind of how New York is, kind of like niggas that's in beef and all that type of shit. These hoods be close. I ain't gonna lie, them shits be literally blocks away, bro. 2-3 blocks away. Them shits be close, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's how I be in the inner cities, bro. I ain't gonna front. Shit literally be few blocks away, bro. Like, you probably could walk to the corner of your hood and look down the block and be like, yeah, like I seen the clip when he was talking to bro and he was pointing down the street and he was like, yeah, the ops, they stay down there. It's, bro, I can literally do that. I can go outside and walk to a corner and be like, oh yeah, you walk straight down there, that's considered the ops. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no ops, but you know, you get what I'm saying? Like, you could walk and be like, oh yeah, that's considered, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that shit crazy, I ain't gonna lie.
Duel's death, going from group to group. It seems like YBC's beef in the city reads like a book. It starts out simple with just one group that they swore revenge on because they believed they had something to do with the death of Josh. In doing so, they started the craziest crash out sequence you could imagine, with legendary, for all the wrong reasons, shooter from 39th Street named Sid, or as many people call him, Fro. 39th Street originally began embroiled in this beef when a pickup basketball game turned into violence, and after the dust settled, 20-year-old Niferic Hawkins was found shot multiple times.
Over a basketball game?
He became one of the topics of YBC DUL's disrespectful music, name dropping him as Buddy, who he said they were smoking on the regular. Not far from this incident, a shooting at a crowded barbecue on 38th Street would injure Sid, who would later become a major issue for YBC because he was a known shooter / homicide maniac himself, with his first
homicide
victim
maniac.
YBC member BL, or as his family knew him, Bashan Hall. Bashan was in the Belmont neighborhood of Philadelphia when he was surprised by a masked gunman, shot multiple times in the head on the 900 block of Belmont Ave at around 9:30 p.m. The shooting would set up an insane chain of events, with YBC trying to get back for their fallen and willing to risk anything and everything to take him out. Somewhere shortly after this incident, another YBC member named Lil Moo would get gunned down that many thought Sid had something to do with. Unfortunately for him, Lil Moo was the best friend of YBC homicidal maniac Curry, who was just sentenced to 80 years, which we'll get into later this chapter. After this incident, Sid decided to lay low with the street life catching up to him. His family apparently took him out of the city for a while to try to calm things down, but when he returned to the city, he was arrested. YBC soon got news that he was supposed to be released and decided to camp out on him and ambush him as soon as he got out of the joint. Their plan worked, or at least they thought it did, and then they killed
hold on, my fault. What do you say?
And getting out of the precinct. Unfortunately though, it was
bro, can I rewind? Like, shit got me rewinding the audio.
Arrested. YBC soon got news that he was supposed to be released and decided to camp out on him and ambush him as soon as he got out of the joint. Their plan worked, or at least they thought it did, and then they killed the 20-year-old man getting out of the precinct. Unfortunately though, it was the wrong guy, which is completely insane. But guess what? It didn't stop the crash outs. They soon learned that Sid would be on house arrest and decided to pull up and try to spin. But in doing so, they missed their target and hit his 6-year-old sister, which was nationwide news in a brazen broad.
What?
They soon learned that Sid would be on house arrest and decided to pull up and try to spin. But in doing so, they missed their target and hit his 6-year-old sister, which would make nationwide news in a brazen, broad daylight veiled shooting that just made them look even worse. Sid would continue to try to lay low, but I feel like he eventually realized that it was too late for him. YBC would not stop until they found him, and they eventually did. And if you think that this story is crazy so far, you're not even going to believe what happened next. On Friday, September 17, 2021, Sid, still on house arrest, was posted up with his father father just at the crib on the 2900 block of Wakill Street in the city's Port Richmond neighborhood after his family moved to a different side of Philadelphia. He was trying to lay low when a pair of masked men pulled up to his open screen door, fired inside, hitting both him and his father.
The latest incidents of gun violence in Philadelphia has torn a family apart and put police in harm's way. Police were going after a suspect in a double shooting that killed a 19-year-old man when they came under fire themselves. Two gunmen walked up to a front porch on the 2900 block of Wakill Street in the Port Richmond section last night. Police say the pair started shooting through a screen door. The teenager was fatally shot, along with a 49-year-old man believed to be his father. Police arrived on the scene quickly and were alerted to an area where people said a suspect had fled. That's when they themselves faced that gunfire.
Sid would be killed right then and there, and his father was injured. Imagine YBC taking out their biggest op of the time, but that wasn't even the most noteworthy news of the night. Police were actually in the area and heard shots and pulled up to the area where they saw two masked men. One of them fired back at police, almost wounding them, while the other was able to get away. Police swarmed one of them when he was hiding under a car and was able to apprehend one of YBC's top shooters, a dude who goes by the name Curry. Yes, bro was named Curry because he be shooting. Crazy thing is, last week Curry was charged for this murder and actually one other, which we'll get into right now. It's safe to say though that takedown would be the beginning of the end for YBC, and you're gonna see why when several other gangs in the area would end up joining forces just to take out the top ops of West Philly, which we'll get into now with CCK versus YBC Chapter 3.
CCK back T
March
boys.
11, 2021 at 3:04 p.m. 4 people were shot on the 1400 block of North 76th Street. Philadelphia officers responded to the scene and learned that all 4 victims had taken to Laconico Hospital in 2 private vehicles. One of the victims was a rising North Philly rapper named Tamir Brown, who also went by Lil Mir. He unfortunately didn't make it after being shot multiple times, but Lil Mir was cool with a lot of members from the 39th Street, and his apparent killer allegedly had ties with YBC. YBC DUL and YBC members began dissing Lil Mir shortly after the shooting in many songs and on social media. Lil Mir was an alleged member of another ruthless gang by the name of O to the 4, who would end up getting involved and clicking up with 39th Street as a means of revenge for their fallen member. This would not be good for YBC, which we'll get into later, how this affected the gang on the timeline. One of the craziest incidents was the shooting of Nazir Marks, an affiliate of YBC, getting gunned down, and then just 30 minutes later, a kid by the name of Kanye Pittman would be shot in retaliation.
Fuck, 30 minutes? Damn. That nigga said, fuck all that, but we slide now. Bro.
Minutes
Fuck.
later, a kid by the name of Kanye Pittman would be shot in retaliation in North Philly. He would be named in songs over and over, as Young Bull would call him Bull from the back block, after getting taken out in an alley. The murderous year of 2021 would get even worse, with a quadruple shooting, which would then cause another gang, 56th Street, to click up too.
Teenagers with bright futures shot in broad daylight in West Philadelphia. Today, we're learning more about the 2 students who were killed while they were on their way to play basketball. Action News reporter Annie McCormick is live outside of Boys Latin Charter School. And Annie, we know you spoke with the family of one of the victims.
And Rick, we did. And, you know, the students here at Boys Latin are once again grieving the loss of another classmate. Like you said, there were 4 young men that were in a vehicle that was shot at 56th and Vine yesterday. 3 of them attended Boys Latin, and one of them was killed. His name was KJ Johnson. We spoke to his family a short time ago. They say he was excellent at school, excellent at sports, and was loved by so many.
Kalen Johnson, or KJ, as he was known by his family, was riding around planning to go play basketball with 2 O to the 4 members and 1 56th Street member when the car was riddled with bullet holes. Unfortunately, KJ and another teen by the name of Tommy Frazier would be killed. Tommy Frazier was who they call Snipe. This is where 56th Street, the Clappers, a hood known for their rapper Young Livy, clicked up with O to the 4, the campers.
Oh, that's where Young Livy from? Oh, that's Young Livy in them?
Tommy Frazier was who they call Snipe. This is where 56th Street, the Clappers, a hood known for their rapper Young Livy, clicked up with O to the 4, the Campers, and a gang from the 7th Street area of Philly who goes by the Clappers with a K. Like I said previously, there's pretty much no way that anyone could survive this type of pressure. They lived to tell the tale when all these groups, including 39th and 44th Street, who had bad blood over Sid and Kanye Pittman shooting, joined up, and it was pretty much the end for YBC. But at the same time, YBC would click up with North Philly, P&B, to try try to calm down the pressure, but obviously it didn't work because the end for YBC would come very soon in Chapter 4, YBC DUL shooting and the end of YBC. 2021 was a year of raising the scoreboard for YBC, but the years that followed harbored nothing positive for this once infamous gang. J100, the founding member, would end up getting shot and killed, which dealt a major blow to the gang. On top of this, YBC DUL's blood cousin, Da Fetty, would end up getting shot in a brazen daylight incident as well. At the same time, the police were putting major pressure, with DA Larry Krasner saying he was making YBC the top of his list of gangs he wanted to take down, along with other gangs that were beefing with them like CCK. It definitely seemed like karma was catching up to them. I think YBC DUL saw the writing on the wall for a long time. I thought he was actually going to leave the city of Philly. It seemed like at least he was doing that with interviews with no jumper and basically posted up as he was living in LA. For a long period of time, this war was sort of starting to die down, and every year after 2021, the number of murders in the city actually decreased. YBC DUL, though, would once again make headlines in an insane video in February that we previously documented on this channel of him trolling his ops, basically digging up one of his ops' graves, which is definitely crazy. And if you followed this channel long enough, you already know that pretty much everyone who messes with other ops' graves ends up getting smoked. So karma was not on bro's side.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Messing with somebody's grave is fucking insane. Like, digging up a nigga grave, like, at that point, nah, I ain't gonna lie. At that point, it's just like, you really crazy. Like, at that point, like, you really, like, that's overboard. I ain't gonna lie, that's OD. Like,
whenever I watched YBC DUL's story, it seemed like he was out of Philly, like he was in Miami or in LA, posted away from the trenches, focusing on his rap career, or posted up with other rappers from different areas like Lil Scoom or something. But it seemed like today was the day where his ops finally caught him slipping. Just 24 hours after popular YouTuber Brandon Buckingham would drop a crazy hood vlog featuring YBC in their neighborhood, as YBC DUL would basically lead a tour, showing them all of their popular hangout spots. In the video, DUL would basically exclaim that nobody has ever touched him or robbed him or done anything to him that resulted in him going outside.
Anywhere I go, nobody don't play with me. I never got robbed. I never got touched, shot at in the city yet.
It's crazy how the foreshadowing is, because no less than 24 hours after this video drop, news broke everywhere that a shooting at 3:30 p.m. on August 23rd, 2024 would take DUL out, probably bring an official close to the YBC beef in the city.
We're told that a 25-year-old man was shot multiple times in the chest and in his hand, was taken to Albert Einstein Medical Center by a private vehicle, but was pronounced dead at the hospital.
Just after 3:30 p.m. on the 5500 block in North on the only neighborhood of Philly, police responded to a broad daylight shooting. Police say the 25-year-old male victim was shot multiple times in the chest and the hand. He was taken to an area hospital where he was pronounced dead. Sources have identified the victim as Abdul Vix, a well-known rapper as YBC DUL. He was affiliated with the gang Young Bad Chasers. Apparently, two gunmen snuck up on DUL as he was getting into a white Lexus. A car full of his friends apparently sped into the hospital in an attempt to save his life, but he ended up not making it. This probably marked the end of the well-known people left behind in this pandemic era gang war, but the cycle of violence will most likely continue, with families left to pick up the pieces. The reason why I made this video and my previous video on this topic was to put a face and name to the faces that the news always seem to bury deep in the headlines. While people might just see these people as unidentified criminals or statistics or just a little article, even though they were all terrible people, they all had a story that was insane. A story that many in these neighborhoods and fans of these rappers will remember for better or for worse. And it's honestly crazy that a YouTuber that kind of showed light on this, who posted this, could have actually been a victim as well. Because just 24 hours after he posted this, this all went down. Imagine if this happened when they pulled up and were shooting this. This kind of shows the danger of the work that YouTubers do, the dangers of the work the rappers do, even though they know what they're doing because they're crashing out. It's just a whole industry that revolves around violence, killing, and basically dissing, which honestly isn't sustainable. But if you really think about it, these dudes were supposed to be nothing. They started out in a crab in a barrel mentality in the slums, in the trenches.
Is he just yapping at this point? Because he really just yapping. I ain't even gonna lie. Buddy getting that yapping. But I ain't gonna lie, man. I was gonna do it for this one, man. I ain't gonna lie, that was fake. I fuck with that. I ain't gonna lie. Them niggas was out there giving out that belt on, bro. I ain't gonna lie. All them young niggas out there was out there giving out that belt. That nigga said they slid 30 minutes later. Bro, niggas 30 minutes after that happened. Hey, what? Who? Bet we on that. Damn. 30 minutes, though. Yeah, that's crazy. But like, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of there, man. Appreciate all the like, comment, subscribers, man. I like this shit, man. Appreciate all my twins, you know. Got a couple more videos to do for y'all boys, and I told you I'm gonna do the full YBC one. That one is a 4 hour, so I'm gonna do that one too. And yeah, you know, let me know some more other little videos like this y'all want me to do, and yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, and I'm gonna see y'all niggas in the next one, bro.